Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Cross My Heart. Now, we are at work with Les. She's at work taking care of patients. We don't have any pediatric patients at the moment, so she is actually going to take care of Baco over here. I kind of scrolled away, but look at him. Isn't he handsome? Anyway, we're not going to skirt over the beginning of this episode, and, well, what you basically learned was that Les lost her parents in high school. That was the big event that basically resulted in her and Tiani somewhat going their separate ways. Again, it wasn't necessarily something that she wanted to happen. It wasn't something that either of them intended to happen. But that's what happened. This is why she doesn't have any immediate family here. This is why she felt comfortable kind of leaving home and somewhat starting fresh. And another thing about her parents, and you may not have noticed this, but you also may have noticed this, is that she doesn't look anything like her parents, and that's because she's adopted. And she learned this right around the time that her parents tragically lost their lives in an accident. That's what happened. I didn't want to show that. I didn't want to be like graphic or anything of the like. I just wanted to allude to kind of what happened. And she had a lot of, I guess, conflicting feelings about her parents at that time. She was so devastated because they hadn't told her that she was adopted until she was in high school. And she felt kind of betrayed. I mean, she loves her parents. Those are the people that raised her. But she was also really upset, and she felt as though she had to find a piece of her that she didn't know yet. And that's why she moved to Brindleton Bay as well. Granted, she got a really good job, but that's part of why she moved here, because she is trying to track down her birth parents. So that's like the big reveal. That's like the big secret. I didn't make a huge cinematic about it or anything like that because I just felt as though it would be more impactful if I told that story and kind of gave you all that background instead of trying to create this elaborate cinematic to tell the story for me. So that's what's going on, but we are here with Les at work because we haven't had a shift at work in days now, it feels. It feels like it's been a few episodes since she's actually been at work, so I felt it was going to be a good idea to go ahead and get a shift in here, see if she can actually diagnose her third patient and maybe get a promotion. Also, I want her to eat her sack lunch because she didn't eat anything this morning and I think she's starving. She got up a little bit later today than she typically does, so she didn't have a chance to eat before she left, which was kind of unfortunate. And Jude's calling. Oh, but what about... Quick question. Alexis, Howard 2, and I were planning to spend some casual friend time together. Of course you should. Friendships are important. Do it, Jude. We support friendships. Anyway, we're going to let her eat her breakfast and check in a little bit later today. Oh, and say hi to Daichi because he's just hanging out in this exam room, apparently. Les had a fantastic day at work, and now she is going to invite Jude out to go get some ice cream for Ice Cream Palooza Day. I think we're going to go to Copperdale, by the way. We are back at work with Les. Now, her and Jude had a lovely little date last night. They went out to Copperdale, they went to the pier, they got their free ice cream scoop, they rode the little tunnel of love, they went on the Ferris wheel, got some cute pictures. I'm absolutely obsessed with all of the things that came with the high school years back. But anyway, she is back at work today, and she's she's feeling well, there it is. She's feeling a little bit distracted. She's feeling a little bit distracted because she actually put in an inquiry with the town records office to try to figure out if she can start tracking down her birth parents. Now, Tiani also, she's here for the Lighthouse preservation. She works with the Historical Society, but she has some connections with those in the Vital Records office. So Les is thinking about meeting up with Tiani and seeing if she can kind of sort of I guess ask her for a little bit of a professional but also personal favor, if you will. And hopefully that's going to go okay. The last time that they did meet up, they did have a wonderful time. They got to kind of talk through a lot of the difficult aspects of their friendship breakup, if you will. And they haven't really talked too much since. I mean, Tiani is still in town. She's going to be here for a while, but they really haven't talked in probably like a couple of days at this point, and it's kind of left Les a little bit unsettled because she thinks that things ended really, really well and that they kind of resolved a lot, but they haven't really moved forward. And she's just trying to cope with that, I think. I think trying to reconcile the fact that they may not have this lifelong friendship. They may just have resolved their past and gotten some closure, and maybe they're going to move on. They don't really know yet, but she's hoping that she can ask Tiani that kind of professional favor. And to be fair, that question is somewhat manipulative, and I'm going to explain why I think that. Because Les knows that Tiani's going to feel guilty if she says no to that question. She doesn't want to put her in a bad position, but she really wants to see if she can find out who her birth parents are. This hospital's becoming a little bit of a mess. I don't see Daichi repairing things in a timely manner. This machine is broken. He just repaired this one but left trash all over the floor. That is not good for a hospital whatsoever. But we are trying to actually diagnose Lucas here, Lucas Munch. That's my makeover of Lucas from my save file. I think he's really cute, but yeah, we're trying to focus on work, but we're just really, really distracted. And this is also because not only did you all just learn about Les's past and what happened to her parents, but the reason why she's so distracted by this, not only with the re-entry of Tiani in her life to some extent, starting a new relationship with Jude, but the death of her parents, the anniversary, is coming up soon. And she never copes well with it at all. She always kind of becomes a little bit of a hermit. She's never really talked to anybody about it, and she's not quite sure if she's in the position to open up to Jude about this either. I mean, they just started dating and everything's in that beautiful honeymoon phase where everything's good and wonderful and you can't get enough of the other person, and she doesn't want to have it negatively impact the beginning of their relationship. Like, look at her face. It's all she can think about. And she has to find a way to cope, and she's never really found that. She started journaling again. I mean, maybe that will help, but it's not going to be the cure-all, if you will, either. Now, we're trying to diagnose this little guy. I think we're going to diagnose him with bloaty head because it's either that or no illness, and we can't do any more tests that would be definitive. So we're going to try. Let's see if this diagnosis was appropriate. We'll treat him with a shot. Here, buddy. It'll be quick. Don't worry. It was ineffective. He didn't have an illness. Oh, that also kind of drives me nuts. I don't like it when that happens at all. Okay, let's see if we have any more pediatric patients. We don't. Okay. We don't at all. So we're going to go ahead and pop on over here to this lovely oh, hi. Sure, Jude, we can be best friends. We can be best friends. He's here? Why is he? Okay. All right. So we're gonna ignore that. I'm so excited for Les. It is the end of her shift. She actually had to stay a little bit late today because treatment for one of her patients actually required surgery, which was unfortunately a failure. The sim's fine, but the surgery itself was a failure. Anyway, she has been promoted to doctor. She's now a general practitioner. She makes 40 simoleons more per hour. She got new clothes, she got some objects, and she got a nice bonus, and she works tomorrow morning, but I'm so excited. This is definitely something that she has been working towards. Now, for the purposes of storytelling, I believe that this position has just been offered to her. We're going to say she's going to think about it over the weekend because this kind of position also requires her to go back for more schooling, which wasn't necessarily something she was anticipating having to do. But she's really excited because it seems as though her performance here in the very brief time she's been at this hospital has been so stellar that they want her to actually move forward and pursue becoming a medical doctor. I'm so happy for her. Look who was just waiting outside of our house when we got home. Seems that Tiani actually just stopped by and Leslie's like, hey, I didn't know you were thinking about popping by. And Tiani is just saying, look, I just wanted to see you again. I'm going to be here for a while and I really want us to have some time together to see if we can catch up a bit more. Also, Jude is calling. Thank you for suggesting I hang with Alexis. You're welcome. Maybe we can actually have them watch the season premiere, like the TV season premiere or whatever together. Unfortunately, I know you can't actually have your sim do this with another sim, but maybe Les can do it and just invite Tiani in and maybe she'll end up watching it. I'm not really sure how it works. I think that's kind of silly that you can't have your sims watch this together if they were in a group. Do you know what I mean? I know they're not currently in a group, but you can't do it anyway. Trust me. Trust me on this. But I think that this is actually a perfect opportunity as well for Les to kind of pose this idea to Tiani and say, hey, I really need help with something and I don't really know how to approach it. It's obviously, as you know, really personal. I mean, you know that my parents passed away in high school, which is kind of what resulted in us going our separate ways. And I also found something else out. Tiani's thinking, what do you mean? What else did you find out? I mean, did they not pass away in the way that you were told? And Les is just saying, no, it's not that. I actually found out that I was adopted, and I found out shortly before my parents passed away, and it kind of really messed me up, and it's part of why I'm here. And Tiani is just completely shocked, but she's, I think, also very supportive. She's like, let's find your birth parents. I mean, that's kind of amazing, but also I understand why it's really confusing to you, and I can understand why their passing was so conflicting for you too. Oh my gosh, and Lori's over. We're just gonna ignore Lori. Sometimes The Sims really doesn't want you to tell the story that you want, but we're really trying. It is Les's very first day, and I say first day mainly because she has decided to give this whole doctor thing a test run. She was able to talk with her superiors, and she essentially said, can I go ahead and do kind of I'm going to call it like an internship for the week. So that's what she's going to do, and she's just filling in Daichi about this temporary promotion to see if it's something that she wants to do, and I feel like he's super, super happy for her. He's been a great support for her at work, which is really really great. I'm really glad that she's been able to get close with a lot of her coworkers. It looks like Lori is actually here too, so we're going to go ahead and fill her in as well. We're not going to complain about work. That's not what we're here for, but we are going to go say hi to Lori as well, because it seems as though she actually hasn't been here for a couple of days. I think one of her kids was home from school sick, so she ended up staying home with them. Remember, she has 2 little girls, so I think that her life is also very busy, which is mainly why we see her at work. We don't see her outside of work too much, but she still is a very good friend. Very good friend. But I think we're just going to fill her in basically on our little temporary promotion here too. I think she's just thinking or saying, Lessie, that's so great. I'm so happy for you. You really have flourished since you came here, and our hospital's just been running so much smoother, and we're really grateful that you decided to join our team. And she's like, you sound like our boss. She's like, I know, but it's true. So it seems like our duties haven't really changed that much though. So we did just become good friends with Lori, which is exciting. But we do have our pediatric patient over here. We have this little nugget. We'll have to go see who he is and meet him, because I don't think we've actually met him before. And it seems like Lori's busy at the front desk anyway, because some calls are coming in. But even though this is an exciting time job-wise, Les also has, I'm not really going to call it an appointment. She was instructed to just kind of come in to see if she can inquire about the vital records that she's seeking to identify her birth parents. So she's going to be heading there, I believe, after work today, if time allows. She wanted to try to catch the regular office hours instead of having to make an appointment with, someone in the vital records office. She didn't think that was going to be super conducive to what she wanted to get done and how quickly she wanted to get it done. She's still a little bit distracted because she's oddly really excited about it, but she feels like she's almost betraying her parents too. Imagine that. So she wants to know who her birth parents are. She is so appreciative and loves her parents who raised her as her own. I mean, she wouldn't know the difference, right? But she really, really feels as though there's something about her that she's missing because she doesn't know who her birth parents are. So she's excited to get to that ultimate finding, and hopefully they're alive and thriving and maybe she can meet them. I mean, she has no idea. This is uncharted territory, but she feels guilty because, well, not because Treat Yourself Day is coming up, but if we open up the calendar really quick, let's actually just get rid of, we're not going to keep events. We're going to do holidays, birthdays, work, and school really quick. I wish we could keep these tags permanently and they wouldn't go away. Anyway, so on Sunday, only 2 days away, is actually the anniversary of her parents passing. And that's what's kind of making her a little bit more stressed and feeling a lot more guilty about what she's trying to pursue. Again, she doesn't handle it super well. Hopefully tomorrow on Treat Yourself Day, she can kind of lift her spirits a little bit before she fully commits to acknowledging and mourning her parents passing again this year. She really doesn't do well with that, to be completely frank. She doesn't cope with loss or negative feelings very well, and she knows it's because she didn't really process her parents passing appropriately because it was so clouded by having found out that she was adopted in the first place. It's very, very complex. There's so many layers to it, and she really doesn't even know where to start with acknowledging it and processing it in a healthy way, I would say. She's gotten by, but I think she needs a little bit more. So in the meantime, as she's a little bit distracted, but also trying to prove herself in this new role to see if it's something that she'd like to do, we're going to log our sample results, and then we're just going to run a few more tests over here on our little guy and see if we can get him in ship shape. Les is officially off of work, and she has showed up to the Brindleton Library and Vital Records office. Now, this is a renovation by Becky B. Simmer. It's really, really cute. It's technically a library, but look up here. I think that she just renovated it, and it looks so, so nice. Like, look upstairs. It's so cute. And then downstairs, look, there's like the little front desk office over here. The little front desk here, and then there's like computers and still some exhibits and nautical museum things, the chess tables, and there's even a little cafe, which I think is so, so perfect. It's such a nice multifunctional lot. But we are here, and we are going to chat with this fine gentleman at the Vital Records office to see if we can figure out how to track down our birth parents. I believe this is the gentleman that we spoke to on the phone, so hopefully he's going to be able to help us out and kind of point us in the right direction. If not, we're going to ask this lovely sim over here as well to see if she can help. But hopefully we can start finding out a little bit more about Les's birth parents. I'm really excited about it. I think, again, she's very conflicted, but she's also really looking forward to it. And now that she's starting the process, she's a little bit scared. And I don't blame her. I would be scared too. So I think he's like, yeah, I'll be with you in 1 second. I'll go ahead and do a preliminary search and see what we can find in the public record. And then we'll kind of just go from there. How does that sound? And Les is just saying, okay, that sounds great. I mean, we got to start somewhere. So in the meantime, while he starts his search, she's just going to walk around the library itself, and she's going to go check out some of the nautical exhibits because she's never been here. She doesn't really know that much about Brindleton Bay to begin with. She moved here kind of on a whim, so I think it'll be nice for her to look at some of the exhibits, learn a little bit more of the history of Brindleton Bay while she's here, because she doesn't know much about it at all. Like, not at all. And it's finally time to see what this lovely gentleman has found for us in the public record. And he's just saying, all right, Lessie Darcy, it looks like you were put up for adoption roughly 25 years ago. And Les is like, yes, that's correct. And he's saying, all right, I've tracked down 2 possible couples that could be your birth parents. They did do closed adoptions, but after a certain amount of time, those records are disclosed. And considering that they are at a particular age at this point, you do have access to some of this information. Now, I would recommend contacting them to see if they would be open to discussing this adoption in the first place from 25 years ago, but I can give you their information and then you can do with it what you will. Now, I know that realistically there are closed adoptions, there's semi-closed adoptions, there are open adoptions, there's all sorts of ways that you can approach things like this. I'm just trying to make this fit the story a little bit and leave things open for Les to discover who these people are. So that's that. She actually has 2 couples to get in touch with and see if either of them are her birth parents and see if they can shed any light on any more documentation to kind of prove who they are and where Les came from. And I think she's shocked. I think she's absolutely shocked. I have a feeling that she did not think it was going to be this easy to find out some information and start tracking them down. And she's almost having doubts. Not doubts as in, oh gosh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to know who they are. But she's just really kind of scared. And I think she's masking that fright with a smile. Because she's also very happy. She's really excited to see if she can figure out who her birth parents are and learn a little bit more about where she came from. And she's really glad that she also did this on her own. She didn't end up asking. She asked Tiani for help, but she didn't need it. So it makes Les feel a little bit more independent with all of this, as though her past trauma with the whole situation with her parents in the first place and the fallout with Tiani, they're not as interconnected in her head anymore. She's starting to kind of process things a bit. So I think this is a really healthy move for her. I really, really do. Well, everyone, this episode was not extremely adventurous. It wasn't extremely exciting, but it was necessary for Les's story. We got to do some work and see how she's progressing. There. She decided to go to the top of the lighthouse just to look over the bay, which is so beautiful with clear skies. But she also got contact information for 2 potential couples that were her birth parents. And she opened up to Tiani. She hasn't quite opened up to Jude about this yet, but maybe in time that will happen. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video. Bye!